Yo, 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 it's ODB, Our Lifestyle, the podcast. A huge shout out to everyone out there that continues to support the cause in terms of listening to the podcast. We're really the first mini trucking inspired podcasts. We've got some colleagues in the scene that are out there doing the damn thing too, so shout out to them. But we're so thankful to be able to go to shows nationwide, and the shows that we can't make it to, we really provide a lot of that reporting, if you will, from the scene or on the scene via OLP or Our Lifestyle podcast. Typically, if you go to Apple Podcast, Podbean, so on and so forth, you could just search OLP, and that's going to bring you right down to Our Lifestyle podcast. Go out there, give us a listen. I guarantee you that you'll be hooked. We just had Brad Gilmore on recently from Back to the Future, the podcast. He's also an author of Back from the Future. And a huge shout out to Brad for coming on. We were just at Mini Truckin Nationals last weekend. So much fun. But want to let you guys know that this video is brought to you by Hammered Weekend Wear. This shirt that you see in front of me is Famous Mazda and Hammered Weekend Wear, HAMMERD, weekendwear.com. You can go pick this one up. This is one of the newest drops. They've got flannels, they've got shirts. All of their gear features what they refer to as real builds. So big ups to Ron and Hank at Hammered Weekend Wear. I'm rocking the new hat, the new OLP hat. These actually sold out at Mini Nats. I've got one of the old school shirts on that I pulled out, OLP, Our Lifestyle Podcast. If you go to our website, ourlifestylepodcast.com, you can see the merchandise there. So big ups to everyone that continues to support the cause. All right, so here's what we got. This is issue 16, if I remember correctly. And the gentleman that shot this, he has one cover under his belt. Basically, this is the only cover that he shot, so we'll get to that. You've got November of 1991. You see the Mullen Publishing, it was $295. So 29 years ago in 2 days, so November 91. And I kind of call this one a Pro Street S10. Blown. Got the Maryland tag on it. Of course, it's got a lady on the cover. Holy 80s/90s. But really another mint issue. And thanks for all the comments that I've continued to see. Recent comment was like, man, these flip-throughs are the best thing to happen in 2020. And dude, so thankful for you guys for enjoying this. Leave comments. Again, I do these kind of a one cut because what an epic ad. Because it just saves time. By the time I import things and edit, and then I end up editing too much and this and that, then the stuff just doesn't get out there. Now, that same comment the other day, or a couple of comments, prompted me to say, hey, I need to get back on these. Before you know it, the weeks are flying by. And I want to get a couple of these out this week and then go from there. So November 91, there's the TOC, or Table of Contents. Steve Stillwell is still, at this point, the editor. Got West Coast Mini Truckin Nationals. What's cool is when you think of, like, we call it as, West Coast Nationals is what it's known as. Just like the show that we were at last weekend is known as Mini Nats. If you go on Instagram and tap on that hashtag or type in Mini Nats, which is short for Mini Nationals, that's how these shows, started back in the day. West Coast Nationals, Southeast Mini Truckin Nationals. All right, it's of course getting dark a little bit earlier, so I've got to be conscious of that. I'll kind of go a little slow here for anybody that wants to go back and read the first column, and so on and so forth. It's so awesome. We're pretty fortunate to be able to have these nice cameras on our phones to be able to do this kind of stuff. Now, I want to say it was 5 features in this issue. So not the most features so far, but damn good content. Check out that ad. I know you guys were checking into that. VHS Willie, $29.95. But wait, just order now. All right, so here you go. Chevy ups the ante in horsepower poker game. Man, those things are classic. I think we'll continue to hopefully see more of those square body dimes. Speaking of that, if you get a chance, go out to Street Truck's Facebook page. Trust us, there was a truck that our friend Brian basically gifted to his soon-to-be 16-year-old son at Mini Nats, and Street Trucks was there live to record it. We're thankful to them. Check out those boys. We're thankful to them for recording that, and it was, of course, live. You can actually go out on their Facebook page and watch it. I got a chance to kind of MC that little segment, if you will. And I know you guys like those. There's a guy selling a really mint set right now. Eli. But, yeah. So, Street Trucks, go out to their Facebook page and check it out. Mike Larson here with West Coast Nationals. It was pretty cool what Brian did for his son, and to ask us to be a part of that, we're very thankful. So thank you again, Brian. His family came in town. He had to sneak the truck over to Maggie Valley, and he did a great job. And we just helped kind of figure out how the flow was going to go around 4:15, 4:30, and that's what we did. We made it happen. There you go. Rolling Thunder. Shout out to Monster Mini Trucks on Instagram. They post a lot of those older trucks. They do a good job giving photo credit, whoever sends them the photos. Now, how ironic is this? I'm trying to remember if this was the truck. This might have been the truck that we just saw at Mini Nats. It's a very similar truck if it's not this one, Show Ready. I'll have to post the photos. I know it. The guy had recently posted some photos on a Facebook group that he had picked it up. This is something that I like, looking through these older magazines. You basically have, these that came through Jim. A lot of this stuff, got pulled out. But look at that. A free offer for mini truckin' readers who smoke. Advertising in the 80s, 90s, and even before, it was basically trying to get you to smoke. Now, because of all the lawsuits and stuff, it's like, check out that sexy lighter. Now all the lawsuits are like, they've got to do things to tell you how bad smoking really is. Table of Two Rangers. So, again, it's getting darker here in Florida as it is, in most of the U.S., right? Of course. Alaska's a little bit, they got their own shit going on up there, but it's getting darker now. So as soon as I got home, I came out here to record this one. Love the layout here. Rad Gallery kind of changes it up a little bit from the Mini Truckin' Marquee. And look at that. You just get some classic vibes from it. Speaking of that, seeing these borders like this always remind me of Saved by the Bell. And for you mini truckers out there / 80s and 90s freaks like we are on OLP, you guys already know Saved by the Bell is coming back. There's actually a couple, I think there's an official Instagram page, and then there's another Saved by the Bell Forever page that my wife had sent me. They've got the kind of the sizzle teaser reel out there, preview, whatever you want to call it. Who would have ever thought that the Trucksarosa stuff would come back as big as it has? I always thought it was cool, but for whatever reason, I just was like, not a huge fan of it when I was younger. I guess I didn't really understand it. And then now, because of the nostalgia, it's just, man, it looks awesome to me. Pretty cool. On this one, I always remember when I was doing research that, these frame shots and frame features, they kind of seemed like they were kind of new. I know the first Street Trucks, they also had big Mike's chassis photo in there. So again, this is Sam Truett's here, 86 S10. But the first Street Trucks had Big Mike's chassis photo in there. But they were doing that long before. So my chassis for Bada Bing, it also received actually a full feature. I'm thankful for that. When Mike Alexander was there at Mini Truckin, he kind of made that happen. Joe Grieve shot it, but let's not forget these guys that came before us. They had the full features going, or at least photos in their features. This is back all the way, as I mentioned, in 9/1. About a year before Dre dropped the Chronic in December of 92. And then Snoop on November 23rd, 93. Doggy Style. I was listening to that shit on the way home. Real deal. It's in my blood, y'all. So here you go. 84 S Dime. Maybe not your favorite in terms of some of the, the fiberglass on it and whatnot, but there's no doubt if this thing was out today, it would blow people away. I think some of the things that are more rare, especially as I mentioned in the past, the cab visors, like for the C30s and things like that, the rear like kind of cab spoilers, and then the front visors. That stuff is not easy to find all the time. Those Lund visors, and you will when you see that stuff, you're kind of like, damn, I haven't seen one of those in a while. So here you go. You got Shartz's, his Ford. This thing is still around. It changed hands a couple times, but we've posted about it. We've tagged Mike Shartz's before. Shannon Bullis has it now on the East Coast. He is a fiend for those Ford Rangers. Again, you got, I don't know if this, I think these were just because it had the thing in the front, and it wouldn't have stayed unless it had something. So, anybody that worked in the publishing back in the day, I think that's what that's for. When I was younger, I used to be like, man, what the hell's that? But I think, it was to hold that other piece of advertising in there. Of course, if those fell out, it would pretty much defeat the purpose. If you bought the magazine or you were thumbing through it, maybe they wanted you to rip out the little free lighter thing. I don't know. Painting by numbers. So good mix of color and black and white. I've mentioned this many times. Full color did not come until many, many years later. Harry Carey. I remember seeing, I think this coverage, and note the Bonsai Cruisers host their first annual Southern Cali Show and Shine. I think I've seen this in Truckin, if I remember correctly, as well. But Bonsai has been on the rise. They've got some different Instagram pages for their chapters. And I'll always try to show them some love because they're an old school club that keeps doing the damn thing. So here you go. You guys might know that truck. What? And you can see here with all just the accessories and stuff like that on it. Looks like a dually with a topper. Pretty dope. Rezo 9 Deuce. The Rezo dates, when I look at the dates on these, especially when I look up specific things, it's Resolutions 92, but it fell on the last weekend of the year. So Lake Piru, California. Straight blood, dog. This was December technically of 91. So when I've looked up and tried to like align dates and stuff, that always throws me off because I'm thinking, wait, is that Rezo 91? No, because that's going into the new year. We had Bob on very early in the podcast, who has really headed up Rezo all those years, and he's kind of brought it back a couple times. I mean, I think now I don't ever see it coming back. Never say never. But we got to really have Bob on again. We did talk to him earlier this year. We're partnering up with the Mini Truck Hall of Fame, which Bob pretty much heads up. I know Radar and those guys, they help a lot as well. So this was a cool mod that mini truckers were doing back in the day, because a lot of the mini trucks were, or trucks in general, were just base models. Nothing like today where they're basically luxury interiors and stuff. So, people that wanted to put power windows in the minis. Pretty cool stuff. That's what we did in my S10. Mine was a stripped down Willie. So when Jimmy built it, he goes, hey, do you want to put power, let's put power windows in it, and got all the parts. So odd enough, I'll switch here. And this is, you can't really read it. White wasn't a great color to put there on the green grass, but an 83 Ford Ranger. not maybe the style that we grew to love, but really time period. And with minis on the rise, wouldn't be surprised if something like that would come out and kill it, at least bring back some memories for a lot of people. A lot of you guys have been doing this a long time. So here you are, subscribed to me, Truckin Magazine. Some of the classic little ads you were accustomed to seeing. I do have big news to share for those that haven't heard. I did get my hands on issue number 1 of Mini Truckin Magazine. So I've got to decide on when I'm going to drop that flip through. Thank you to Jim from Mini Madness. I was working on that for a while. And since a lot of this collection came from Jim, I only felt it was fitting to be able to cop that first issue from him. Now I'm pretty much down to needing issue issue 2. So issue 2 I missed out on last year. I kicked myself. But if anybody out there has a lead on issue 2, I'll make sure I post the image on Instagram that will batch over to Facebook. Let me know, because I definitely need that issue. And then I'll be able to do all 269 issues. So there you have it. You pretty much, as we said, hammered weekend wear. I mean, that print is amazing, and those come through Graphic Disorder. So if you're a business, graphicdisorder.com, best in the business. So you got Mini Truckin Magazine. I'll make sure in the title I put the right issue number. So I went back and retitled all of them on YouTube. I think it's issue 16 I'm on. I can't remember now. It's been a long week. So yeah, there you have it. Real jam-packed. Maybe not my favorite cover truck. But again, time period, November 91, 30 years ago, give or take a year. So there's that. As we close down, I wanted to remind everyone of garagegearclothing.com. If you listen to the podcast, you hear us talk about that website. I've got my calculator inside. We always joke around about the shipping. The shipping is free on Garage Gear Clothing. When you hit this main landing page and you kind of scroll through, some of the newer stuff or their newer designs are out here, but they did recently do a huge refresh. So you've got everything from youth. Of course, you got the famous Mazda extra cab with kind of that Mini Truckin Magazine feel with garage gear. Most of their artwork, my understanding, is done through Graphic Disorder as well. And then when you go to shop, you can even go to youth. And I'll take a second here, but basically youth, they really get behind the kid stuff out there. And you'll see, like, if you're looking for like maybe some stocking stuffers or holiday stuff, you can come out here for $15 and get some really, really cool stuff. They've got the youth girl V-necks as well. If you see them at shows, you can go by, slap hands with them, let them know that you heard on OLP. And I wanted to check out too the shirts, just in general. But it's garagegearclothing.com, and then that'll bring you to right here. They've got the keychains. These hats, I've got one standing over here, or hanging over here, that I typically wear outside. Those are pretty cool. You got the branding in blue underneath. They've got these pretty cool mesh hats. You've heard me talk about the lifted trucks, the side-by-sides. So they're not a one-trick pony, so to speak, which is what I like. And this one's pretty cool because it's got a couple of dualies on it. So big ups to Garage Gear Clothing. Thanks to everyone out there. Jeff at Mini Garage, make sure you subscribe to his channel, Mini Garage, via YouTube. Also Built to Cruise. Jeremy and his wife, they came by, they slapped hands. Good people. Their content is amazing. So go out there and support those couple of folks. Wanted to give those shout outs. And with that being said, I'm around 20 minutes. Thank you guys for rocking with us. Our Lifestyle Podcast, aka OLP. We appreciate all of you guys out there. And ladies, stay on the rise. We at ya. ODB. Peace. Happy Halloween.